Hey guys, my name is Sid. Welcome to another vlog, and today I thought I'd start a new series on my channel called Retro Tech. This was kind of inspired by the time I went to check out the coolest Apple retro collection that I've ever seen in my life. So if you guys missed that video, one of my favorites that I've ever made, go check it out. The link's up here. But today I was actually cleaning up my house and I found this thing. This is the Sony Walkman WM-FX655. I know that's a mouthful, but this was such a cool device. This is one of the first pieces of tech that I ever got with my own money. So if you guys don't know the story, I did do a vlog about this before, about how I got my first job, which was writing video game articles in a local youth magazine. I'll leave the link for it up here. I did save up for about a year, and when I had a chunk of money in my bank account, I decided to go treat myself. And this is the first thing that I ever bought with my own money. So if you guys haven't seen one before, this is a Walkman, Sony Walkman. They were super popular back in the 90s. And the cassette tape was the main way that people would consume audio. This is before CDs came out, after vinyl, but before the CDs. And the reason these became so popular was because these were super convenient to carry around. You could record stuff directly from the radio and put it on your own cassette tape. You could even use a double cassette player and record from one to the other, so you could make your own mixtape. And so the cassette format really took off. Companies like T-Series actually became super relevant because of these things. So when Sony first introduced the Walkman, which is a portable cassette player, it became a phenomenon and people were buying them left, right, and center. I did have a Walkman before this, but it wasn't a Sony Walkman. It was a cheap knockoff. It didn't sound that great. And I really had a massive collection of cassette tapes. And I was really getting into music back then because I was 14 and I was just discovering cool music at the time. So I decided to go out and buy this thing. They were kind of like the iPods of my generation. It was kind of the first time you could take your own music with you and listen to the stuff that you wanted. Now, Walkmans came out a while before this thing came out. This one was actually one of the most expensive Walkmans that they ever made. And I remember I paid about 600 or 700 dirhams for this Walkman over here. Now, if you count for inflation, that's about 1,500 dirhams in today's money. Roughly about $400 or so is what I paid for this thing. As you can see over here, they had a 36-hour battery life. They had an LCD screen. And this particular one, the reason why I bought it is because it had an LCD remote control as well. Amazing, small, slim form factor, as you can see. A bit smaller even than the iPhone 11 Max. And it was quite easy to pocket, and it did have better sound quality. It had a remote control and all kinds of cool things that the regular Walkmans didn't have. But it did come at a cost. You did have this custom battery, which I've lost now, so I'm unable to use it. If anybody knows where I can get a replacement battery for this, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to get this working again, just because it has nostalgic memories for me. So if you guys don't know how cassette tapes work, this is what a cassette tape looks like. And it has this tape which is inside it, which is wound. So if you want to be at the beginning of the song, you'd want this whole coil to be on this side. And as the song plays, it goes through the tape and the tape transfers from one side to the other. If you want to rewind the song, then the tape goes in reverse. So that's the basic idea behind it. But that made things like searching for your song really difficult. So this thing had a really cool feature which would automatically forward and rewind to the song that you want. It would detect the pauses on the tape and automatically stop. So you could just press forward, it would skip till the next pause, and you would be able to hear the next song. It also had a repeat feature, so if you really loved one song, you could just hit that repeat. Once the song ended, it would detect it automatically, rewind the tape for you, and you could hear it again. So you would have your headphones connected to this remote control where you could skip songs, forward, rewind. That was really, really cool at the time. I remember getting a lot of jealous looks when I bought this thing. Also, cassette tapes had two sides on them. So there was an A side and then a B side. So this thing would automatically be able to switch sides for you as well, without having to actually physically remove the tape and put the tape back. So once side A ended, it would automatically flip internally and go to the next side, which was so cool. Apart from that, just the build quality of it, like this thing is all made of solid metal. The spring action for this thing was really cool. You could just pull this button down and open up the cassette player. As you can see, it's not that much bigger than the cassette itself. So the form factor was definitely a winner over here. In the box of this thing, you got the remote, you got the rechargeable battery, you got a battery charger as well, since this thing couldn't charge the battery itself. And if you look at the side of the device over here, they had these pins which had a battery compartment. So in case you did run out of the battery on this, the rechargeable battery, you could connect that thing, tighten it over here, and then you could put a AA battery in here and continue listening to your music. Now I have lost all these things, including the headphone and the remote for this thing. This thing also had an inbuilt radio player, which was quite common at the time, but it was cool to have nonetheless. And a big selling point for it was also having this LCD. It would actually show you a lot of information on there, like how much time you had left on the tape, how many songs you'd listened to, a bunch of things like that. So it was pretty cool at the time. And honestly, the sound quality on this thing was pretty amazing for being a cassette player to a point. Of course, it didn't compare to like a CD or anything like that, but it was pretty good. It would definitely sound better than it did on my home cassette player. You can see it says like Dolby, ATS, all that stuff. I did enjoy it for a long time, probably used it for 3 to 4 years. And I remember this was at a time when I was about 15, I was moving to Pune to study in college for the first time, and I took this thing with me and I spent many hundreds and hundreds of hours listening to music on this thing. Anyway guys, that's it for my trip down memory lane. Let me know what you guys think of this retro tech series. I have a bunch of old tech lying in my drawer which I'd love to talk about. In fact, I was thinking of making the next video about the original iPad, which I do have and is in working condition. So let me know if you guys want to see that video. If you like this video, hit that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to watch more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.